Hi, I am Dr. Kate Rodriguez. We're here with the Overachieving Shit Show podcast. Thanks for being here. Remember, as a disclaimer, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not your therapist, and this is not clinical advice. Talk to a real therapist if you need to. Today, I am excited to have Alexa Deal on today, a school counselor in a small Texas town. Alexa, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You know, I've been doing this little series the past few days where I've been posting about shit show mom moments and like parent moments because the beginning of school, everyone feels like they don't have their shit together. Is it just parents who feel that way, or does everybody in the
Oh
school
my
feel
gosh,
that
I
way?
think everybody does not have their shit together for sure. And if you do, you're probably are faking it because I was trying to get my stuff together. I don't think teachers have it together. I don't think school counselors have it together. Nobody at this point. I think it just snuck up on us. We don't have our stuff together. And I can see that some parents don't have their stuff together too. But I think that's
Yeah,
okay. Like it's okay. We're on the same boat.
yeah. What are some shit show moments you've seen with the parent side? Any funny ones?
With the parents. So today the doorbell rang and a parent was at the door. I thought it was a Xerox guy. And I was like, oh man, the copier already broke. Day 4, I think we're at. I was like, goodness, the copier already broke. And I open it and it's actually a parent with like a huge, it's day 4, so a huge bucket of school supplies. And they were like, so and so forgot school supplies. Here you go. And it was like the entire score, like the entire leftover of what the store had. So I think dad just went to go grab everything he could, brought it back,
Oh
and the
my
kid.
goodness.
So like that's like an instance, but he had his stuff, so it was
Good for
okay.
him.
But
So he's probably better off than
yeah,
some.
that's for sure, for sure.
I My kids I don't even think are fully registered yet, but it wasn't my fault. Somebody at the school hadn't sent us the email to activate, and I'm like, okay, it's not us, everybody.
Yeah,
How are kids?
kids. Mm, I don't think they were ready to come back. And I mean, who is ready to come back as a kid? Who's ready to come back to school? Personally, my kid was not. He was not ready. We've cried maybe I think 4 days in a row. We've cried at
Oh,
drop off. Yeah. So it's been difficult for him, but I think it's just getting regulated again, getting back in the routine. It just happens, right? The day comes and you have to show up and you just go through it. And I think that's what we're seeing is them going through the motions right now until they're at a spot where they can, like, okay, it feels like we're in a routine, we can do it, and things like that. But it has been a disaster with the schedules and the kids losing their schedules and not knowing where to go and just all over the place. I think I printed out maybe like 20-25 schedules just because they lost them or didn't know
that
where
was
they were going or something didn't look right. But we're surviving. Somebody told me the other day it was like the flagpole's always going to go up, or the flag's always going to go up the flagpole. So I've been living with that mentality. I think the day's going to happen whether you're ready or not. So I've been living with that mentality.
I like that. And so on that note, what have been some of the signs that you see? Because you're working with what age?
I'm working with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, so it's about 11 to 15-year-olds. So I think we have a couple of 15-year-olds.
And what are some of the stress signs that you've been seeing with the kids? How do they usually show it?
So the 6th graders, they cry. They will show you that they're stressed by crying. The 7th and 8th graders are more of acting out, or a lot of what we're seeing this whole week that we've been back is a lot of disrespect, a lot of like wanting attention-seeking behaviors. I was trying to correct somebody in the hallway, and the day before they were in here in my office, and they were very receptive. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Extremely respectful. Whatever you need. Okay, I can do that. I'm going to work on those things to be a better student. So today in the hallway, they were not living by what we talked about.
But they
And I
did
said,
not
hey,
believe
remember what we talked about? Mm-mm. So I was like, hey, remember what we talked about? And they started acting silly, like a clown. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, am I remembering this wrong? You were in there. And so then I kind of said it quietly and walked away a little bit from the crowd. And he was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I think it's more of I have to put on a show in front of my peers, but I'm really
Like
dealing
trying to
with all
look
this
cool.
turmoil and things. Yeah. And I've never seen such a great leader before. With certain classes, they'll go through and you can kind of pick out some of the leaders, but it's those top kids that are really struggling with having that responsibility, but they don't even realize it. They can lead an entire group of their peers, but sometimes it's not for the best. So, but that's some of the signs that we're showing is really just acting out, being a class clown, but then knowing that there's other things going on.
Are there things that you see differently between the way the girls and the boys are attention seeking? And I ask for some of the parents out there because sometimes
Yeah.
parents, I don't think, realize that it's a cry for help or
Yeah.
a sign that the kid's stressed out or unregulated, dysregulated. Like what are some of the different signs you see between the girls and the boys?
It's so hard with girls because I think that you have to consistently watch their behavior and know something changed. With my students, we don't have that many. I think it's maybe 150 that are on the campus. And so I know them on a one-to-one basis. And so watching them and seeing them in the hallways, seeing them in the cafeteria, seeing them even here with me, you can tell the day-by-day difference. And the girls are a lot quieter. They internalize a lot more than the boys, where they're acting out, they're being silly, or they're seeking attention. The girls kind of sink into themselves and are a little bit more reserved with sharing what's actually bothering them. But I've noticed that when they do try to seek help, they don't ask for it. They just navigate toward somebody that can help them. And so they're quiet, they're reserved, and they're just finding that person that they can trust, finding that adult that they can trust. So,
And from experience from our year and a half of supervision of seeing you in that office, you are that person for so many of them. So many kids go to you because you wear many different hats. You're a school counselor, but you sometimes are principal, sometimes you're vice principal, sometimes you're admin, sometimes you're teacher.
yeah,
That must be hard.
I have I have to be able to be a chameleon and changing my role and being able to, take off a counselor hat or put a teacher hat on or put a admin hat on. But the kids seem to really adapt to it. They know, okay, we're being disciplined right now. Okay, this isn't counselor Miss Deal. This is discipline Miss Deal. But
Yeah.
the kids they adapt really well.
So, what are some of the common things that kids go to you for that you think might surprise people?
Um, I have a lot of self harm, suicidal ideation. And that's always surprising because you wouldn't think that they're dealing with other things, maybe peer relationships, emotional regulation, things like that. But I have a lot of the self harm and the suicidal ideation.
Wow. So, a lot of these kids are coming to talk to people at the school before anybody else.
Yeah. For a lot of the times, I'm the first person that they confide in or they do tell.
So, what would you say is something that parents can do to help kids open up? I know that's a weird question, but I think so many parents get stuck in, how was school today? Oh, what'd you have for lunch? What do you think are ways that parents can create an environment where the kids do feel like they can talk to them?
I think I have maybe even an upper hand too because I'm a school counselor and I have a son. But then also don't have an upper hand because I'm trying to analyze everything and making sure that he's okay. But I think as a parent, I would definitely take a step back and kind of have that self awareness of, am I doing everything that I can do to help my child? Or am I speaking to them in a way that they want to be spoken to? And I think it's building that relationship. And not by any means am I saying either, you can be their best friend, but also you have to be a parent too, right? but being able to find that perfect balance between parenting and also being a friend, somebody that they can talk to, somebody that they can confide in. And it's finding that perfect balance of just having a safe space for them and not being judgmental toward them, hearing what they have to say. And of course, we have to discipline at home. There's consequences for our actions, but having them in a place where they can be open and share their thoughts without fear of consequences in that moment, or retaliation, or getting mad, or the things that us parents quickly jump to, because it's like, okay, stop, why are you thinking like that, right? Why would you say that? What's wrong with you? Things like that, that I've heard that parents have said, or no, my child would never think that way. I think it's having that open mindset, and then being aware of yourself, and then also being aware of your kid. What kid do I have, right? And also another thing, I see these students, I think, more than their family sees them. So I think that's another thing to take
many
into
times.
consideration. Yeah. And we spend more time with these kids than they do at home.
So many working parents too that really
For
don't
sure.
get to spend a whole lot of time.
Yeah. And so you go home, you cook dinner, you take showers, you do homework, and you go to bed. And so where is the time to talk to them? You really don't have time. It's taking that time, if that's in the car on your drive to school in the morning or from school, and it's not asking, hey, how was school today? Because they're automatically going to say, oh, it was good. What'd you do? Nothing. You know what I mean? But finding those questions, or those open-ended questions too, to allow them to talk to you. Or even sharing things about your day that went well, and then maybe it's opening up that door of, okay, I can share these things.
Yeah, I think those are great examples. And I love that we can hear the people. I purposefully wanted to interview you while you were in the middle of a school day so people could see what it's like. Because more than likely, someone is going to interrupt you, even though you have a sign on your door.
Oh, yeah. Yes, for sure.
I have talked to you while you're hiding in storage closets and people still found you.
Still find me. Yep. It's a game of a hide and seek here. I try to hide sometimes, but they're definitely going to find me. And it's a open door, closed door policy. Like, my door is closed, but those kids know that they can come in. It's kind of comical at this point.
How many times a day would you say that you hear, Miss Jewel, can I talk to you for a sec?
I honestly, I can't even count on two hands how many times that they've asked me, or they said, hey, can I ask you this, or hey, I need to tell you something, or Miss Dill, can you do this? Or right now somebody's calling me to talk about a student, but I'll call them back in just a second. But it's like constantly, they're always needing something, and that's okay, because I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. But I know it's exhausting because you also have a lot of staff that go to you because you're a counselor. So can I talk to you for a sec too, right?
Yes, for sure. There's about I would say 25 people on the staff, and we're a small school, a small district, and so we have about two hallways, one really long hallway and another one a little bit shorter. But I can look down one hallway and see half the teachers, and I can look down another and see the other half of the teachers. So I'm readily available, and if they see me, they'll probably need me.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And being in a small town, would you say that that contributes to certain stressors that maybe big cities don't, like having everybody know you, or does that?
I think so. I think it's helpful and not so helpful sometimes. It's helpful because I'm able to tell the kids, hey, like, I'm going to call mom today. We're not doing this correctly. I need to call her. Or even with things that they come in here, sometimes it's difficult to be able to see maybe a friend's kid in here telling me these things. It's like, how do I have that conversation with them? So sometimes it does get difficult with everybody knowing me and me knowing everybody, but it's also helpful too, because they know I know their parents, or they know I know their
They
siblings
trust
or
you.
things like that. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, because that must be tough because you are probably one of the people that has to file CPS complaints more than anybody else. I would assume that's an assumption, but I'm
Yeah,
assuming you probably are one of the ones that hears this stuff first.
exactly. Yeah, and that can be really really difficult. I've always, when doing that, and this might be helpful for other school counselors and even other counselors, um, I always make sure that I make contact with the child or the parent and let them know, hey, I'm going to have to call CPS, but these are the reasons that I'm going to have to do that. And so that when CPS does make contact with them, it's not, oh my gosh, she did this. Why did she do this? Why did she turn us in? It's not a surprise to them. They knew that they were coming. They can, you know, um, have, I guess, maybe even a peace of mind knowing that, hey, she did this because of these reasons.
Yeah, like it
Um,
wasn't somebody anonymously out to get them.
yeah, exactly. And I don't ever want to be like a gotcha situation. Of course, there's sometimes where parents aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and CPS is going to investigate. And I always remember it's not my job to investigate, it's just my job to let them know, hey, these things are going on. But I definitely make contact with the child and the parent before I do so, if it's appropriate. So sometimes it might not be appropriate to make contact with them, but for the most part, like 90% of the time, I give them a call and let them know what I'm doing. And it's always conversation beforehand, and then, hey, these are the things that we got to do. The bell again.
Do you
But
ever hear that bell in your nightmares?
no, but when I came back, so I'm off half the summer. And so when I came back in the middle of July, I was working. It was quiet. I think it was only two people here, and I was kind of by myself. And it went off, and I think I got a heart attack. It scared me, and it's crazy because I've heard it for 8 years. So I don't know. It terrifies me when it's that first sound again, and I'm not used to it. But then now, getting used to it, I don't even hear it anymore.
That's funny. I would hear that in my nightmares. So, when you see these kids getting real stressed out at school, what would you say is something that parents can do to maybe help prevent it? Do you see some of the same issues? I know
Mm,
it's kind of a broad question, but when my kids go to school, I would tell the parents don't put so much pressure on them.
yeah.
But
It's a lot of like the kids, you can see they have a lot of anxiousness or nervousness or the stress, but I think it derives from that pressure. But sometimes it's not even intentional pressure, but that pressure they put on themselves to make us proud or perform perfectly, right? And I see that a lot with our students, and they're just trying to make sure that they make us proud, but we're not even asking for that, and we're not putting that pressure on them. I think that one's a really hard one because I see a lot of that in my son too. He's very anxious because he wants to be perfect. He wants to make 100 on everything, and sometimes we can't. And I think it's maybe that we can reassure them that it's okay. And I find myself always reassuring, just do your best. It's okay if you don't make 100. Don't make a 60, right? Don't make a 50. Don't fail it. But it's
the
okay
best.
not to be perfect.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. I think that the perfectionism is becoming a big problem. We're seeing so many younger adults struggling with perfectionism, leading to anxiety or
Mm-hmm.
even OCD. And it's really scary because you see it early starting
Mm-hmm.
where those patterns are
Yeah.
coming from.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a lot of our kids. It's not even people that you would never even think of. I mean, they're so scared to make a mistake that they can't even perform, or they can't even, do the assignment because they're terrified that they're going to make a mistake.
So, what's one of the weirdest or funniest things a kid has gone into your office asking?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I always tell myself I need to start a journal and write down these funny things and these things that are off the wall. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one because there's so many.
One time when I was working in a school, I had these two girls come up and be like, Miss, they were asking me anatomy questions. They were like, Miss,
Oh God.
is it true that there's three holes?
Oh my goodness.
Or, STD questions. Like, I always had
Oh yeah.
weird ones, and I'm sure you
Like
do.
uncomfortable. How do I even answer that? There was one time when it was like a question along that sorts, and I think I said, that's a question for your mom or dad. I don't know if I should be answering those questions.
And I bet that's hard for you because you're a school counselor, you are an LPC. I'm proud to have been able to be your supervisor. Um,
Thank you.
but you're not a full blown counseling role because you also have the scholastic part of it, and then sometimes being
Yeah.
authority. Is that hard for you to navigate?
It is really difficult sometimes. I think I was just already came in with a school counselor mindset because I didn't have my LPC yet. And so then I got my LPC, and then that's when it started to like, okay, how am I acting? Am I acting as LPC or do I act as a school counselor? And then I got my principal cert, and it's like, okay, what role am I here? And it's always constantly going back and forth and making sure that I'm not clouding the judgment based on what role I have or what hat I had on that day. And it's difficult too because you want to be able to help these kids in the situations that they're in, but knowing that role, making sure, asking myself, having that self-awareness of what am I today? What am I in this 30 minutes or this hour today, and making the best decision for that child. So if I need to refer them to an LPC, or if I need to refer them to a school psychologist, or things like that, it's letting go, I think, and being able to be like, okay, I'm not in this role right now. Somebody else can better help you in this situation.
What does get you through all of that? Are you a coffee person, a chocolate person, a dark humor person? What helps you
Oh gosh.
in this super chaos?
So I actually was a Celsius person for the longest time, but everybody here at school knew I was a Celsius drinker. They would bring me Celsius. That was a token of if you needed something, you bring a Celsius, right?
Uh-huh.
But I think it started weighing on me too. I would feel sluggish at the end of the day, or I don't know. I could feel the effects it was having on me. So I gave it up in July when we came back. I was like, okay, this school year I'm not drinking any energy drinks. Um, I miss them. It was a little withdrawal period, but I'm just coffee right now.
Okay. So
So,
coffee gets you through.
but coffee, I think coffee and dark humor.
Yeah. I know we both have the dark humor. I mean, it's the only way to get you through it. I just
Yeah.
asked a room full of defense attorneys. I said, raise your hand if you have said a joke this week that would have got you canceled if everyone heard. And literally the whole room put their hand. And,
Raise your hand.
I'm not saying we should say things that get us canceled, but sometimes
Yeah.
if people heard the way we got through our days, they would worry about us.
It would be questionable, right?
I feel that a lot of people don't understand how chaotic it can be for a school counselor sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, can you paint us a picture of one of the, I know it's not always like that, but one of those moments?
I think a perfect example would be yesterday at, I think it was 7:45 when I walked through the doors. It was like boom, boom, boom. Everybody had a question. Everybody needed help with something. There was a parent there waiting for me. I took the parent back, and as soon as I was done with that parent, there was another parent with a new student enrolling, and so it was just all at once, and it was extremely chaotic. And I said, okay, take a number, let's go in order of arrival or things like that, because it's hard. It gets really, really difficult sometimes. But I think that what's helped me is slowing it down in my mind, I guess, and not feeling so rushed and not feeling so bombarded with things, keeping a to-do list, marking it off one by one, meeting with the people one by one.
Prioritizing.
and knowing prioritizing and knowing that the day's going to come up and the day's going to go down, so we got to get through it some way or the other. The parents aren't going anywhere, the kids aren't going anywhere, the teachers aren't going anywhere, so I got to figure it out. But the other day it was like, whoa, I walked in and I was just braced for impact.
Yeah. Are there certain things that kids will say coming in that you're like, oh shit, I gotta buckle up? Like,
um Sometimes, not so much this year. It's more been parents and schedule changing and not liking something this year. But like in the past years, it's sometimes I walked in and there's a kid sitting right in the front foyer crying, or there's a kid standing at my door, or I'm drinking my coffee and making sure everybody's okay in the morning, and it's a late drop off with the kid crying walking in. And those are really tough ones because our kids have a lot. They bottle a lot, and we a lot of the times we don't know what's going on at home. We don't know what their lives look like, and then sometimes, you might see them walking through the halls and they look great, but it's those like little moments where like things aren't okay.
yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that is tough. And then looking at the other side, what are signs that you see in teachers?
Oh yeah. Teachers, yeah. I'm like, teachers. We had a guy come in talk to us last week on our staff development days. His name's Kevin Curtis, and he does some kind of it's discipline regulating things, schools like classes and things like that. And he explained something, and I don't want to get it wrong, but he said, "What if our dysregulation, like our teachers, what if their dysregulation was a fluid?" And when they were dysregulated, there was fluid everywhere. We'd fix it, right? Because they're like, we have to fix it. We can't have fluid everywhere. And so when I look at teachers now and I see them dysregulated or stressed out or overstimulated, I'm like, okay, somebody needs to clean this up, right? We need to clean it up. We need to solve the problem or solve that solution focus sometimes as school counselors work through, because we're having to go really, really quickly and trying to solve problems. But teachers right now are having a really difficult time. I think there's a shortage of teachers, not just only here, but across the state of Texas. There's a shortage, and class sizes are getting bigger, and teachers are getting tired. And sometimes it's difficult because we're not compensated the way that other occupations are. And so, I mean, you see a huge turnover in teachers right now because they're tired, they're burnt out, they're dysregulated, there's fluid everywhere, and it's hard for them.
Yeah, it
I need
is.
to share a guy with you because he's really, really neat.
Yeah, and so when it comes to that, what do you think parents can do that could help teachers? I always think it's so funny because the first year my kids had teacher appreciation week, I gave them little bags and I put, I don't know, I put like candy and caffeine stuff, but then I also put a gift certificate to my husband's bar.
That's perfect. That is like the perfect
I
gift.
don't know if anyone used it, but I put it in there. But like when it comes to teacher appreciation, I always think they don't need more sweets or this or that. They need a break. They need a pay raise. I wish I could provide that. I wish I could help in that way. But is there anything parents can do to help or to understand or communicate better?
Yeah, without offending anyone, I think that a lot of the times, and sometimes I even do it as parents, we're like, oh, my kid would never do that, or blaming it on somebody else, blaming it on another student, blaming it on another teacher. Um, it's hard because it feels like sometimes that we don't have parents in our corner, and that's okay because we've seen through the media, through all things, that teachers sometimes get a bad rap. And it's hard to trust teachers, but here we're in a small town, so maybe even just like having a conversation with your child and saying, hey, the same respect you give me, make sure you're giving that to your teachers. And that small conversation may go a long way, because we don't see respect in the classrooms. I don't see it in the hallways or in the cafeteria. Sometimes it goes a really, really long way. Respecting your teachers might have them feel seen, make them feel a little bit better, and that burnout might lower just a little bit. But even myself, I've had that conversation with my son. It's like, hey, you make sure that you're acting right. Your teachers, they're helping you, they're educating you, they're giving you all these tools to be a successful person in society.
I think that is important. I see it all the time where kids are talking back, they don't listen, they're not paying attention. They're like, "You're not my mom."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Why do I have to respect you? You're not my mom. I've heard this one time, you didn't bring me into this world. Why am I respecting you?
Wow.
And it's like, oh, well, I don't know what to say. Like,
Because you're trying
in the
not to
past,
put
it's
that
always
burden
been,
with the parents. Like the parents probably taught him that in some
yeah,
situation.
and sometimes it's modeled behavior. And sometimes it's that I'm always going to have my kids back before anybody else. And okay, as you should, right? But also getting all the pieces of the picture,
Mm,
you know?
yeah. And I think talking, having open communication with y'all too is a big deal. Because one time when I was a professor, I had some students come up to me and say, "Hey, we have a professor that we feel is very burnt out. She hasn't turned in any of the grades. She hasn't responded to our emails, all these different things." And they're like, "We don't want to get her in trouble, but we also want her to get help." They're seeing, these are adults and they're counseling students, so it's different, but they brought it up to somebody who wasn't in power. I'm just an adjunct professor. I can't get this person fired or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was safe. So I was able to reach out and be like, "Hey, just so you know, some of your students saw some signs of burnout and they're kind of worried. Is there anything we can do to help?" And it started the
Yeah.
conversation, and I think that it's hard for people to do that. Instead, they're just like, "Miss Deal's being mean." Not Miss
Yeah,
Deal's
she's
burnt
mean.
out.
Or she's tripping. Miss Deal's tripping.
What are some other ones that you hear them say about teachers? What kind of stuff do you hear the kids say?
Oh gosh. I don't. It's mostly she's tripping, or I'm trying to find the word, their lingo. Um, I don't know. It's a lot of like, what did I do? What did I do? I didn't do anything. What did I do? Man, she's tripping. Like, it. It's just a lot of that. Like, I didn't even do anything.
So it's a lot of not taking responsibility,
Yeah, a
probably on
lot of
all
it's a
sides,
lot.
adults and children, huh?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think everybody. Yeah, everybody wants to just put the blame on somebody else. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. Hey, that was a good song back in the day. It wasn't me.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It wasn't. Oh, what is it? It's
Yeah,
Shaggy.
Shaggy.
It wasn't me.
Okay,
If they only knew, if they only knew that song, they'd probably sing it to us.
I know, right? um, what would you say is one of the things that stops you from walking out when you're very stressed out? And I ask this because the guest before you was a CPS worker for almost 30 years. And she says there were many times that she would walk into the boss's office and be like, "I'm done. I can't do
Mm.
this anymore." But then something would happen that would keep her there. Do you have anything like that that keeps you going?
I think I just love these kids. That's just what it comes down to. If I walked out, I would just truly, honestly miss these kids. I've built relationships with them. They know that they can come talk to me. I would be so worried. I would tell you when we talked before, I'm worried about them in the summer. Are they getting food? Are they getting a shower? Do they have AC? Are they getting where they need to go? Are they home by themselves? What are they doing things they're not supposed to be doing? I worry about them, and even now I worry about them when they leave us. And so I truly, honestly love them, every single one of them. Sometimes some of them are hard. hard to love, but I really do. And I think that's what keeps me going, is knowing that I I know that I'm making a difference. And it's reminding myself that I am,
Mm-hmm.
slowing down and knowing that, I love these kids. And I honestly think that they love me too. And that gratification, I guess, helps me a little bit. But our eighth graders last year, they were a really tough group. They made, I think, everybody question walking
Really?
out. Everybody questioned being in education, from sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. It was difficult. It was hard. But I told somebody the other day, I'm like, hey, how are these kids doing? And they're like, oh, they're doing pretty good. And I'm like, I miss them. I miss them coming to talk to me. I miss them being in my office. And I want to go over to the high school just to check on them. But I'm like, okay, they need to fly. They need to have their independence. And it's hard sometimes letting your kids go. And even like my own kid, that it's going to happen one day. And I don't know, I just feel I have a connection with these kiddos, and I think that's what keeps me here.
Okay, and to end things, can you give us, and I know you can you give us one of your biggest overachieving shit show moments?
Yes, I can. Okay, so I'm going to
I
set,
can't.
yes. So actually, I'll set the stage and I'll lead up to tell you what happened. So it's our first week of school, right? I've been wearing many hats this week, about 3 or 4 hats, like I told you before. So I'm exhausted. My legs are sore. I got the Dr. Scholl's shoes. I'm turning into an old person, but they're super cute, so I'm not that old. But I took my son to baseball practice, about 30 minutes away, and I rolled down the windows. The breeze was hitting me, and the next thing I know, I'm waking myself up by snoring. I could hear myself snoring, so I woke myself up. I'm setting the stage still. So I'm exhausted. The lady next to me is looking at me. Her German Shepherd's looking at me. I'm like, okay, I know they heard me snoring. So we get home about 9:30 at night. I take a shower. I had already made dinner before we left, so that was made. And so we're eating. I take a shower. I lay down. I don't remember laying down. I don't remember falling asleep. I wake up this morning an hour and a half later than I normally wake up from my husband's alarm. I didn't charge my phone. My phone was dead and there was a no alarm set. So that is my overachieving shit show, and my son didn't get breakfast this morning. And we are just in day 4 of school starting.
Oh my goodness. So you were asleep in the Texas heat in a car with the dog
Yeah.
judging you.
Because I didn't want to waste gas either. We know how much gas costs. I'm not going to sit there for 2 hours with the car on. So I said, okay, I'm going to roll down the windows. And the breeze was pretty good yesterday. So it was a perfect environment to take a, I don't even know how long nap I don't even know how long I was out for.
Well, good for you. It sounds like you needed a nap.
I
Besides
definitely need a nap.
anybody judging you. Well, awesome. Well, I hope this school year goes smoothly for you. You're wearing all the hats, but all the kids are still going through that door asking for help. So it shows that you are doing something right. So thank you for being not only an overachieving shit show, but an overachieving shit show that I trained.
I was trained by the best. So, but thank you so much for thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I miss talking to you once a week. So it
I know. We'll just.
it brightened my day.
Oh, well, thank you. Let me see.